Hey guys, Steve Hanford here. I want to talk about our divisions for the tournament, Lions Karate Tournament Circuit 2026. I want to talk about the divisions so you know what to expect and where you should be. So our divisions, I will talk about the colored belts first. Colored belts, we have 6 and under, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18 to 34, and 35 and up. So we split those groups into 2 divisions, beginner or advanced. So if you're a beginner, you have 6 or more belts, 6th Q, 6th GUP or above. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For some of you might have 11, 12. I don't know how many belts you got. But so 6 and up will be beginners, or what I'll refer to as novice and beginners. So if you are getting closer to black belt, 1st through 5th GUP or 1st through 5th Q, then you are going to be advanced. How it works for forms and weapons, it is all co-ed. Co-ed, so you will have boys and girls, 7 and 8-year-olds, boys and girls, 11 and 12-year-olds, men and women, 18 to 34. That is going to be 18 to 34 beginners, men and women, 18 to 34 advanced, men and women combined. When we get to sparring, we will separate that out for teens and above. So 13, 14 beginner girls, 13, 14 beginner boys. 13, 14, yes. So beginners, advanced girls, advanced boys. So we split at teenagers and up. So 35 and up men advanced, 35 and up women advanced. And just to completely cover all the colored belt stuff, let's talk about Grand Champion while we're here. Colored belt Grand Champion, if you win forms or weapons, you can compete for Grand Champion. Let's talk about our 12 and unders first. 12 and unders, we will have beginner and advanced combining for Grand Champion. The best forms winners. So 7 and 8 forms beginner, 6 and under forms beginner, 6 and under beginner forms winner, 6 and under advanced forms if there's advanced. 7 and 8 forms beginner. 7 and 8 forms advanced, 9 and 10 beginner forms, 9 and 10 advanced forms, 11 and 12 beginner forms, 11 and 12 advanced form. There could be 8 competing for that Grand Champion. Then we do the same thing for weapons, where we could possibly have 8 competing for weapons. So 12 and under will have a forms Grand Champion and a weapons Grand Champion. When we get to the teenagers, since there's only 13 and 14 and then 15 to 17, let's talk about forms winners. We're going to combine it for overall kata. We're going to have a 13 and 14 beginner forms, 13 and 14 advanced forms, 15 to 17 beginner forms, 15 to 17 advanced forms. Same for weapons. 13 and 14 beginner, 13 and 14 advanced, 15 to 17 beginner, 15 to 17 advanced. So they will combine. If you won first in both, you pick whichever one you do best, but combine possibly 8, as little as 4. Or if some groups don't show up, maybe you just have a couple in that. But if you win forms and weapons, you pick whichever you do the best, and you will compete for Grand Champion Kata of the teens. We're doing that same thing for the adults, because there's 18 to 34 and 35 and up. You'd have that same 4 here, same 4 here. So you got 4 forms, 4 weapons, or it could just be, hey, I won both forms and weapons. Well, pick what you did best, and that eliminates somebody else from competing for Grand Champion in your group. We do not do a colored belt sparring Grand Champion. We used to, and then we realized that there's not too much control all the time from the advanced when they're sparring the beginners, especially when you have the 12-year-old advanced competing against the 6-year-old beginner, and the only thing standing between that 12-year-old advanced and that Grand Champion is that 6-year-old beginner, and then they just slaughter him and don't use good control is what we experienced. So we did away with sparring Grand Champions for colored belts. Let's talk about the junior black belts. Junior black belts, we have 14 and under, and then 15 to 17. They will be co-ed for forms and co-ed for weapons. Co-ed for forms, co-ed for weapons. Winners will compete for Grand Champion. Winners, so you might have a 14 and under forms, 14 and under weapons, 15 to 17 forms, 15 to 17 weapons. They will combine for Grand Champion, possibly 4, as few as just 2 for Grand Champion. When it comes to sparring for the junior black belts, we will split boys and girls, both 14 and under, and then 15 to 17, we'll have a boys group and a girls group, boys group, girls group. There will be no grand champion for junior black belt sparring. When we get to the adult black belts, 18 to 34, 35 to 50, 51 to 65, and 66 and up. We have a lot of different divisions and age groups for our adult black belts. A couple of reasons. One, I'm 42 now, and my 18-year-old self would slaughter me, probably in forms, weapons, and sparring. But for me to get in there against a 35 to 50-year-old, all right, I can hold my own for all. And can I hold my own versus a lot of 18 to 34-year-olds? Probably. But we want to make it to where you're competing against your peers. So we went to a tournament, Mr. Robinson and I, we went to a tournament a couple years ago. I think he was 68 at the time, and the division was 18 and up. 18 and up forms for black belts. Hey, Mr. Robinson, you want to pay, I think it was $60 at that tournament. You want to go compete against the 18 and 19-year-olds? We can go waste our money in doing that, or we can go out to a nicer restaurant. We want to make it a little more fair. And also, some people say, why do you have the 66 and up? We have more 66 and up competitors than we have 18 to 34. And we can talk about that on a different video, talking about egos and why people don't compete. And Lord forbid, the student that's thought that to be awesome in their school goes and loses, and then they're thought of as different. So they just say, yeah, I'm just not going to compete. No, but we'll talk about that in a different video. But yes, we have a bunch of different age groups for our adult black belts. These will be split, men and women, all the way down, not co-ed for adult black belts. The reason we do that is because we have a women's black belt, Grand Champion Kata, which is again forms and weapons, and we have a men's Grand Champion Kata, forms and weapons. We will also have a women's Grand Champion, this is black belts, women's Grand Champion sparring, and a men's black belt Grand Champion sparring. We feel that black belts have good enough control when you're going by age or even by rank, so we do allow a Grand Champion for black belt sparring. I think that covers all of the divisions. If you have any questions, please contact me, Steve at lionskarate.com, or you can call or text 574-527-5765. I'm happy to answer any questions and help make everything a little more smooth. If you're a new competitor coming in and saying, oh, I'm a little nervous about it, where am I going to be, what ring am I going to be in? Our rings are all clearly marked. We have 6 rings, and they'll say ring 1, 6 and under, and junior black belts. Ring 2, 7 and 8-year-olds, and then the judges will split between, hey, beginners over here, advanced over here. Ring 3, 9 and 10-year-olds. Ring 4, 11 and 12-year-olds. Ring 5 will be our teens, 13 and 14, 15 to 17, and ring 6 will be our adults. That's what we do for all the times. The black belts will help judge and then come back to compete. We allow our senior black belts to go towards the beginning of the tournament. They go first. Something about being 70 years old, sitting in a chair for 2 hours and then getting up to compete, not as much fun. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you soon.